What's up, Impact fam? This is Chris from Kernersville. Reach out to you guys from my home because that's where we're all stuck at right now, right? We hope you guys are staying safe. Hope you're washing your hands. Hope you're trying your best to keep the social distancing. We know it's hard, but y'all, it is a safe, it is a smart, it is the right thing to do right now. It's Wednesday, so you know it's still time for Impact. And y'all, we miss you guys so much. We can't wait to be able to hang out with you guys and celebrate when all this is over, back together again. But until then, man, we're staying strong, Impact strong through this, out in Jamestown, in Oak Ridge, and here in Kernersville, all together as one. Y'all, tonight is week 2 of our What to Do When You Don't Know What to Do series. Phil has an awesome message for you guys talking about what to do with situations and examples and moments in our life when we really don't know what to do. How do we handle those situations? It's a great message. We know you guys are going to enjoy it. After the message, please be sure to connect with your small group, connect with your leader, connect with your friends. The questions are actually down below this video in the comment section here for the YouTube video. So check those out. Share your highs, share your lows with your small group. Share ways we can be praying for each other. Hey, and share your favorite snack or food or show that you guys are binging right now because we're all stuck at home. And it seems like the only thing we can do is really eat and watch Netflix, right? But we love you guys. We miss you guys. One quick reminder for y'all, our camps are still going on this summer. We're so excited for them. We're praying that they'll still happen. As of today, they are still happening. And actually, as of today, there's still some spots open on a waiting list if you guys want to come and be a part of that. So let your small group leader know if you're interested in middle school or for high school camp. Middle school camp, we're going to Crowder's Ridge, June 22nd through the 26th. It's going to be incredible. High school camp, we are going to Student Life in the Smokies at the largest water park in the whole state of Tennessee. It's going to be amazing. We're going July 20th through the 24th. Y'all, again, waiting list spots are still open and available. Reach out to your small group leader. Your small group leader will be able to help you with next steps for that. But all payments for camps, they are all due on May the 27th. We gave you guys a little bit more time because we know life is crazy right now and families are struggling and people are all over the place with jobs. We understand it. We're there ourselves. So May 27th, if you need any more information or help with that, please be sure to reach out to your small group leader. We would love to help you guys with that because y'all, camps this summer, we're praying they're happening and we hope they're going to be incredible. We're so excited for this and we're really, really looking forward to it. We love you guys. Can't wait for y'all to check out Phil's message here in week 2 of what to do when you don't know what to do. Know that we're praying for you guys. We love you guys and we can't wait to see y'all soon. Impact strong.
What's up, everybody? I'm Phil. I'm the Impact Director at our Oak Ridge location, and today we're going to be continuing our series, What to Do When You Don't Know What to Do. So the first thing is, have you guys ever been there? Have you ever been in a situation where you just did not know what to do? I would venture to say that most of us have been there, and if not, then you're probably there right now. I mean, just think about COVID-19, this whole virus. It has disrupted our lives, and a lot of us are sitting at home right now, and we just don't know what to do. Well, sometimes when you find yourselves in these types of situations, the best thing you can do is the next right thing. I know some of you guys are like, well, Phil, that sounds great and all, but I'm in the middle of a situation right now. I didn't cause it. I don't want it. I don't know how to get out of it. And all I want is for God just to fix it and for me just to get through this situation. And if that's you, man, listen, I think the same way sometimes, but I want to challenge you. I want to challenge me. I want to challenge us to think about it a little bit differently. Sometimes God doesn't change the situation we're in because he wants to use the situation we're in to change something in us. And some of you guys are also there and you're like, Phil, that sounds great, but how in the world do I know what the next right thing is? And if I figure that out, how do I actually start doing the next right thing? All those are great questions, and we're going to tackle all of that and more in our conversation tonight. Well, the first thing I want to do is I want to talk about situations. Because when you think about situations, there are 2 types of situations. There are situations that we get ourselves into, and these are situations where we make choices, and because of those choices, we find ourselves in a really bad situation. Like some of you guys right now, you've chosen to date somebody, and you're kind of wishing maybe you didn't, and so you've gotten yourself in that situation. And then there are situations that we find ourselves in. These are situations that just happen. They just occur because life throws us curveballs and things just happen. They're out of our control, kind of like COVID right now. We're in a situation that we really didn't cause. And so when you find yourself in situations, how do you navigate through these things? How do you figure out how to respond to situations that you find yourself in? Well, I am a parent of 4 kids, but if I go back 6 years to the birth of my first child, I was in a very similar situation. I remember going into High Point Regional Hospital. We walked in and they had everything ready for us, the bed's made, everything's ready to go. You've got a whole team of nurses and doctors and everything, and you go through the whole process of labor, which is crazy difficult, and you get out on the other side and it's so amazing. You have this little baby and they take the baby away because they got to check the vitals and they got to make sure it's healthy. And then once they find out that everything's good, they bring the baby to you and they want you to do what they call skin to skin time. And in those moments, you are just in heaven. I mean, you think everything in the world is right. You've got this team of doctors, they're coming in, they're checking on you, they're checking the vitals, they're telling you exactly what to do, and you're holding this baby and everything's good. And at High Point, they even took Addison away from us at nighttime so we could actually get some sleep. So at this point, we're thinking everything's great. The next day comes around and we had a nurse. Her name was Barbie. I kid you not, her name was Barbie. She actually looked like a Barbie. She comes rolling up into our room and she gives us some great news. She's like, guys, listen, awesome news. Addison is healthy. She's good. You guys are good to go. And it was at that moment I realized something crazy was getting ready to happen. And my thoughts just started going all over the place, and I had to stop her. I'm like, hang on, did we have a conversation that I don't remember having? Because you're telling me I'm good to go, but I never told you I was good to go. I mean, how does this work? Do you come with us? Can we take you home so you can continue telling us and coaching us what the next right thing to do is? And she looked at me and said, listen, I'm not going home with you, but I know you got this. And I'm like, how do you know I got this? And she's like, listen, if you've got this baby's best interest at heart, you're going to do some wrong things, but you're going to do a lot of right things as well. And what you got to do right now, your number one goal is to get this baby home safe. And once you get her home safe, you do what you got to do to help her survive. And she kind of broke it down into those simple terms. And I was like, all right. So we left the hospital, got home. We walked in the front door. All of this anxiety just overwhelmed me because, it got real at that point. We had this baby and we're at home and there's no one around, no one with us, no one to tell us what to do. And I remember looking at Kristen and I said, all right, girl, let's just keep this baby alive. And I know it sounds silly, but sometimes doing the next right thing, it doesn't solve the situation you're in. It doesn't fix the whole thing, but it does help you to get momentum going in the right direction. It helps you to kind of get a hold of what's happening so you can navigate through the situations that you find yourselves in. So some of the situations, man, we get ourselves into them. We make some crazy decisions and we find ourselves in the middle of some bad situations. And then some things are just handed to us and we don't cause them and we just find ourselves in these situations. So before we go any further, I want you to get out a piece of paper, a pen, a tablet, whatever you have to write something down. I want you to think about some situations that you're in right now. And I want you to write some of them down. And we're going to come back to them later. So I'm going to give you a few seconds right now to go ahead and write down some of the situations that you find yourself in right now where you're saying, I really don't know what to do next. So go ahead and do that real quick and we're going to jump right into the next stuff. So hopefully you've had time to write those down, type them on a tablet, put them on your phone, whatever you need to do. Today, we are going to talk about the situations where we don't know what to do by looking at the life of Joseph. And we started this last week. Chris kind of started the whole story. And if you don't know the story of Joseph really quick, he was the eldest. His father said that he loved him more than all of his brothers. He was going to inherit everything from the family. He made him this coat of many colors. And obviously, because of all of this stuff, his brothers were very, very jealous. Jealous to the point where they wanted to kill him. But right before they killed him, one of the brothers talked the other brother out of killing him, and they said, "Hey, let's just sell him into slavery. That'll get rid of him. Then we'll get everything from Dad, and this whole situation will be taken care of." So Joseph finds himself in a situation that is out of his control. He is now a slave. And the person he's a slave to, his name is Potiphar. And Potiphar was an official of Pharaoh. And Pharaoh was like the king or the president. I mean, he had all power. What he said went. And so Potiphar, being an official of Pharaoh, had a lot of power as well. And so we find this in Genesis chapter 39, verses 1 through 10, the story of Joseph starting out as a slave in Potiphar's household. Now, when you read the first couple verses, everything seems really good. Joseph starts working for Potiphar at his house, and because God's with him and because Joseph makes really good decisions, man, everything he touches just turns to gold. And so Potiphar realizes that, man, when I have Joseph around, like everything just works better. I'm more successful. And so Potiphar actually starts to enjoy Joseph being around, gives him more responsibility, and pretty soon, like, Joseph becomes his right-hand man because everything that Joseph touched just turned into an instant success. Well, in verse 6, things get kind of weird, and we're going to read that real quick. Verses 6 and 7, it says, "Now Joseph was well built and handsome, and after a while his master's wife took notice of Joseph and said, 'Why don't you come to bed with me?'" Now I'm going to leave that right there. I'm going to leave that to your imaginations. You guys know what she's trying to say right there. And first, before I go any further, for those of you that say, reading the Bible is boring and it's not relevant, I hope this right here will challenge that thinking, because it's got some situations in here that can apply to all of our lives. And this right here is one of those situations. So here's Joseph. And he's done everything right. He is right there under Potiphar. He's a second-hand man. And all of a sudden, because he's a good-looking guy, because he's a stud, Potiphar's wife, she takes notice. And she says, "Hey, why don't you come to bed with me?" So he finds himself in a really crazy situation, because here's the deal. He was Potiphar's slave. He had to do whatever Potiphar said. And because he was Potiphar's slave, he was also his wife's slave as well. And so technically, he had to do whatever she asked of him as well. And so she's saying, "Come to bed." And so he's in this weird predicament. If he doesn't do it, then Potiphar's wife could technically have him killed. I mean, she could do that. But if he does do it, well, we kind of know there's going to be another situation involved there where he's going to end up messing up his relationship with Potiphar. And worse, he's going to be sinning and doing something damaging against his relationship with God. So he's stuck in this situation where he doesn't know what to do. And so Joseph just does the next right thing. It says in verses 8 through 10 that he basically looks at Potiphar's wife and says, "Listen, I know you're asking this of me, but I know if I did this, it's going to hurt my relationship with Potiphar. It's going to hurt my relationship with God. And because of that, I just can't do it." And Scripture says that she asked over and over and over again for him to come to bed. And every single time he made the choice. He made the choice to do the next right thing and say, "No, I'm not going to do it." Now, if I ended the story right here, most of you guys would be clapping, saying, "Yes, go Joseph. I mean, his life's going to be great. I mean, he made these great decisions. And if you make good decisions, your life turns out wonderful, right? I mean, that's just kind of how life works." It's not really how life works. It's not how Joseph's story worked either. In fact, because he did this, because he did the next right thing, it actually made his life a lot worse. See, what happened is Potiphar's wife got a little upset at Joseph because, he wasn't kind of going along with what she wanted. And so she actually went to her husband Potiphar and accused Joseph of raping her. That's how far this went. She did that because she was embarrassed that Joseph wouldn't respond to her. And Potiphar, he's like, "Well, I can't believe he would do this." And so we find Potiphar at the end of this part of his story sending Joseph to prison. So because he made the right choice, because he did the next right thing, his life was not all good. In fact, it landed him in prison. And a lot of you are like me, and we're like, "Well, how does that work? I mean, if we do what God says and we do the next right thing and we're trying to make the right choices, how can God allow those things to happen?" Sometimes God doesn't change our situation because he wants to use our situation to change us. So what can we learn from Joseph? Well, the first question we want to answer is, how do we do the next right thing? How do we do the next right thing? Joseph showed us 3 ways. First way, stop and think. Some of us are just going so quickly and our minds are moving so fast that we're not even thinking about what we're doing. And sometimes it's as easy as just stopping and thinking a minute, and that will allow you to be able to do the next right thing in your situation. The other thing that Joseph taught us is to think more about the who than the what. He was more concerned about his relationship with Potiphar and God than he was a situation that he found himself in. And when you do that, it enables you to think about other people other than yourself, and that will put you in a great position to allow you to do the next right thing. And the third thing, he was able to trust God with the outcome. He knew that there was probably no good way this was going to turn out. I mean, he had disobeyed his master's wife. He knew there was something bad was going to come of it, and sure enough, it did. It was so bad that it landed him in prison. But he was still able to trust God in that situation because he knew that God had the outcome in his hands. And so we have to learn to trust God with the outcome. It says in Romans 8:28, and we know that God causes everything to work together for the good of those who love him. In other words, if we trust God, if we put him first, eventually things are going to work out for the good. So the next question we want to answer is, what is the next right thing? Sometimes it's an obvious answer. Like if you're trying to lose weight, obviously you got to stop eating all that sugar, all that candy, stop drinking them sodas. There are things you have to do that are very obvious that you know you need to do in order to get yourself out of a situation that you're in. But other times it's not so clear. And so in those instances, sometimes you may need to stop and think, just like we talked about before. Because when you stop and think about a situation, usually you can figure out, man, maybe I shouldn't do this. This seems like a better decision to make. And you'll find yourself kind of going towards naturally that next right step in that situation. And sometimes it requires us to listen to people. This is where we struggle, right? Like our parents trying to tell us that we shouldn't be doing this or shouldn't be hanging out with these people or shouldn't be dating this person. Man, that's really tough because it's like someone's attacking us and we get defensive and we don't want to hear it. But sometimes we have to just shut up and we have to listen to people around us. And the third thing, sometimes it requires us to actually go a step further and to ask the people around us. You can't do life alone. You have to surround yourself with people that you can go to and ask for wisdom. And sometimes it takes that for us to know the next right step to take when we're in a situation. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to go back to where you wrote down that situation earlier or look on your tablet or whatever you did. I want you to look at that situation or those situations right now. And I want you to do a few things with it. I want you to take a look at it. I want you to think about that situation. And I want you to see if you can figure out, just by stopping and thinking, what the next right step could be, the next right thing could be for you to do. And then I want you to tell somebody. It doesn't have to be right now, maybe later when you circle up with your small group. Maybe you're going to tell some friends, call somebody, text somebody. I want you to tell somebody what you think the next right thing to do in this situation. And then I want you to ask that same person to follow up with you to make sure that you took that step that you said you were going to take. Well, guys, listen, taking the next right step, it's not going to solve every situation that we're in, but it will get us moving in the right direction in order to navigate the situations that we do find ourselves in. So whether you're sitting there right now and you've gotten yourself in a situation or you found yourself in a situation, or maybe it's a little bit of both, there is hope. And sometimes all you have to do is to do the next right thing. And from there, you'll be amazed at what will happen to solve that situation. So as you guys discuss this in your small groups, I want to challenge you to be honest with yourself. Think about the situations you're in right now. And if you need to, ask your small group leaders, hey, what do you think I should do? What do you think would be the next right thing for me to do in this situation? Hey, if we do that together, I know that we can navigate through this coronavirus and any other situation that we're in. So don't do this alone. Lean on people around you, and I know that God's going to do incredible things through whatever situation that you're in right now. Hope you guys have a great week. I'll see you later.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Jake from the Jamestown campus. I love that message from Phil, and I love what he had to say where he was talking about when we don't know what to do, we always choose to just do the next right thing. Make sure you guys are linking up with your small group so that you guys can discuss exactly how to do that. The questions for your small group are below in the video description, so make sure you guys check those out. Also, if you guys need anything, please reach out to us. We are here for you guys. We miss you guys. I miss you guys. I miss everyone, and I cannot wait to be back with you in person. But in the meantime, if you guys need us, want to talk to us, DM us on Instagram, reach out to us through email, text message, whatever it is. We love you guys. Be safe.